That was incredibly fast. Remember how we used to wait weeks after week after week once DJI announced a new product, and then sometime in the distant future we will receive a product. Totally different this time around. Announcement last week, and this is Monday morning, and here is a box. That's fast. I mean, can you say whiplash fast? Hey there guys, I'm Bo Lorentzen and welcome to another FPV guide video. We just got the new Mavic 2 Pro in, and it's probably about time to say I think the Phantom is dead and long live the king. So let's crack this open and see what's inside. I haven't actually seen it yet. FedEx just dropped it off, so we'll take a look at that together. And then we're gonna make some more videos and take a look at how it compares to some of the other in the compact category. Instrument of choice, knife. And I did see in the shipping that it actually came from China and was on the way already Thursday last week. Inside here, they suggest we go to Facebook Messenger, and also that you can scan here, I suppose, for support. So they're getting very sophisticated. Let's get this thing cracked open. And here is the box. There's the box, bird itself. And I know some of you guys don't like me calling it a bird, but they still have apparently that dome bubble camera protector. I think it's cool because I've been shooting through it in like a mist a couple of times and protected the camera from the spray. On the back here, maybe one of the coolest things we're seeing here is the Hasselblad logo. Hasselblad DJI. Because, as you probably know, DJI actually brought into Hasselblad. Now, is that cool or what? Let's get this cracked open. So that is just an empty. Ooh. Now you can see it says open, so I'm assuming that is up. Knife. Wow, that's pretty solid. The smell of new drones in the morning. It's almost as good as a fresh espresso. Actually, it's better. Let's take a look at what we got in here. As always, let's look at all the accessories real quickly. So we have a box here that opens out this way. Remember the first Mavic? The boxes was incredibly tight on the first run, and then very quickly they got that straightened out and they became easier to open. All right, so this case here basically contains the charger. That is pretty cool. And do remember, the new Mavic now has a 4S instead of a 3S battery, so you can't use your old charger. And I also think, I'm sure, these ones doesn't fit. So there's a unit looking pretty good. Up here, I would put my usual little 90-degree attachment. It, as always, has an USB port to charge the controller and the battery charging part. Really nicely, clean little design. And this the obligatory cable cord. Honestly, let's just get the little fold out prongs instead of a cord, because there's no need to kill another cord tree just so I can have a cord. One more cord to throw away. Next box, it is cables, it says right here. Let's see what's inside. Woohoo! All kinds of goodies. So first here is a very long USB cable. And then we have the iPhone and the Android cables for the controller here. Quick look at these here. I'm gonna pull these open and see what we get. So here is one, and That is the one that goes in the controller, and this goes in your Android phone. Goes in the controller and also in your Android phone. It appears like I'm gonna have to poach this cable from my old Mavic controller or just use a regular iPhone cable. Okay, opening the next bag here. Oh, careful, look at this. This is actually the stick for the controller. So if we grab the controller right here, this one is gonna come down and I'm assuming twist into place. There you go. It has a nice little rubber feel on it. And here's the other one. Very nicely, unlike the last time, these are actually made to be removed. So this one can throw in your backpack, maybe in a Ziploc bag so you don't lose these, really nicely. So you can see here it is, and I'm gonna just twist this one in right there, like that. Looks pretty good to me. Well, the radio is upside down, but it feels good, and feeling good is what we like in a radio. I'm a pincher, so I typically fly like this, you know. But a lot of you guys, thumbs and just thumbs up top, and it has like really good little traction here. I gotta tell you, they managed to make this radio even better than the last Mavic Pro radio. So what do we have down here? Ah, look at that. Here is 2 sets of props. There's actually a total of 4 blades. So that's an automatically I like. Look at that, here's even more propellers. So there's a total of, what does it look like? It looks to me like here is a total of 6 spare props, which I think is brilliant because, as you know, I am always whining about drone manufacturers not including spare props, just because there's nothing worse than getting a brand new drone, go out and fly and manage to ruin a prop the first day and then have to wait months to get a replacement prop for a brand new product. So that's brilliant. In here is Mavic 2, DJI Care Refresh, Mavic 2 Pro, instruction manual, battery, disclaimers, all the usual. The DJI Care Refresh is a surprisingly inexpensive insurance that DJI sells that allows you 2 instances of destroying your drone in a year. That's putting it crudely. Honestly, if you're buying a DJI product, you should probably get the DJI Refresh. So we have a sticker up here. We can peel that off, I'm sure. And this opens up and it works exactly like it did before. And here, thankfully, here is an iOS cable. Also, in here, look what we just found. This is apparently the official place to store the sticks. So the 2 sticks I was so busy unwrapping are spare sticks. I like that because I am sure to lose some of these. So here they are in here. I guess I'm gonna pull these 2 out. So they come out right here, just like that. And this is now my spares. So here we have it. Really, wow, they really managed to. So the way this works, basically, if you haven't seen a Mavic before, you can see this little cable in here. That is the iOS cable. And to install my phone, I just kind of push on the cable's backside, push it in, and there. So now it's in the grip, just like that. The phone is installed, and this is the form factor we fly with. I would have to scroll and find the DJI interface right here. And in a second it's gonna start up. I'm gonna have to register it because you, generally speaking, can't fly a DJI drone until you registered it. So that's a whole different story. Well, we've looked at all of this. Let's put this aside and let's take a look at the bird. Wow, it is definitely heavier. Well guys, here's the problem with opening something without having time to take a close look at it first. Because I stand corrected. Look at this, there is no props installed. So when we grabbed these here, I was so happy they had a full extra 6 props, and it turns out we need 2 of them. So there's only 2 extra props. Okay, I am less impressed, but at least there's 2 blades extra. And 2. And you can see the new Mavic props. You can kind of see the upswing, just exactly like you see on a modern airplane. That is to reduce vortex and turbulence of the prop tips. And it's a big part of making these props a lot less noisy. So they go on right here. And let's see, there should be a white. This one here must go here, I think. So we twist and push, and it's down, just like that. Prop goes back here. We grab another one, and this one here you'll see has a little white ring put on it. So we twist the motor until it goes down, twist a little bit more, and they're locked in place. So there. So to open it up, we're gonna fold these 2 forward, and then these 2 other ones comes backwards like this. Always be aware how you unfold these. Up on top, it says here you have to push down on the side and then lift up. So we do like this and we lift up like that, and here's the battery. It got a lot beefier from the last Mavic. Then on the side here, we have these little stickers that we can pull off. More stickers to pull off. And coming around, here is a sticker telling us to remove the bubble for the camera. So we're gonna pull that off. And here you can really see the camera bubble. Here is some more stickers and more stickers. And I figure we can take this off the battery. There. Now we have a whole bunch of little doors. So we have one here, we have one here, and one here. Let's start here. That is a USB port. So that's a USB-C port. Then what we got here, that looks like the bind button. Put that one back down. And flipping this over, the last one must be, and here's a memory card slot. So a memory card needs to go in here before we are ready to fly and shoot. Okay, there we go. Let's come back and take a look here. To open this up, pull down here. That's where the sticker had this little arrow. We're gonna pull on that, and that comes out. And notice it has this little thing that folds in. So when we pack this thing back up, we have to scoot this underneath, and then this comes down. So this definitely got a little more complex, but it still has the ability to shoot through it if you're shooting over the surf or something where you just don't want your camera drenched. If you shoot through this, you're definitely gonna lose some optical resolution because it's plastic, it's not an optical lens. And most exciting here is we are looking at a Hasselblad camera. So apparently Hasselblad has been involved in both the optics and the sensor. As a result, we're getting a 20 megapixel still camera with 10-bit video recording. So 10-bit D-Log video recording with where we can choose to use H.265. So that gives you a ton of details, but the 10-bit means we're going to be looking at a lot of data. So we're going to take a look later at how that stacks up and how good it really looks. But 10 bits is probably the widest dynamic range and the most detail, most information in any consumer drone flying right now. So that is really the best camera on a DJI consumer drone as of today that we're looking at right here in a much smaller package than what the Phantom 4 Pro was. Getting back to looking at some of all these details, up here on top, this is an infrared obstacle avoidance device. So this is sending up an infrared signal, it sees it bouncing back to itself, and that will avoid it flying into the ceiling. Turning it around, we have an obstacle avoidance sensor on this side. We have one on the back here. You'll see this on the back facing actually has two, so it creates a stereo image of what is behind the drone. So that means it's really gonna avoid flying into stuff. Interestingly, they don't use, I'm looking, I'm wondering if I'm missing a sensor. Interestingly, they're only using one on each of the sides, probably because we don't usually fly sideways into stuff. So it's probably not quite as an advanced system sideways. Turning it around, we still have the forward facing sensors right here. And I actually had some problems with the forward-facing sensors because when I go at full speed with a low sun, the sun will flare in these and stop the aircraft. So I usually have been taping a piece of cardboard on over it to give a little bit of shade to these two sensors just to avoid that crash stop. I'm gonna fold these arms in because we don't need to see them unfolded. So folding up, this comes in here, this goes back, and this goes back. All right, so back up to the, you can see they have really done a lot of, oh, and also looking at the belly, I forgot that. Here we have, I don't know what these two is. That actually looks like an LED. Here we have, so that's probably light. I don't know, I have to find out. Here is what should probably be an infrared down-facing sensor. And then we have two optical sensors downwards also. So that gives a very, very accurate 3D picture downwards and should allow for very steady position lock when you're doing the tripod mode. So this drone should be amazingly solid when just left to its own devices to hang in position. So there you have it. We've kind of looked at all the different options here. I'm going to show you, I brought for comparison, oh yeah, this is my old Mavic, and if you look up here, again under this, there you go. So, you see the difference here? These are kind of the same design, but we got a much larger lens on the new obstacle avoidance. We also got the much beefier camera, and the motors has gotten, I'm trying to get them next to each other. You can see the motors has gotten a lot beefier. The propellers are a little bit longer, and the legs actually seems to be a little shorter. One of the funny things is, one of the biggest things that everybody ran out buying was leg extenders to extend this further, to get it up further from the ground, to avoid blowback dust on the aircraft. I must admit, I've been flying this one without leg extenders for the last year, and I have really not had any problems. Now the camera on the Mavic Pro 1 was really not particularly great, and that is why the new Hasselblad camera is amazing. Up until today, the small Mavic was really the best Mavic camera. That's this one here, and you can kind of get an idea how big or small these are next to each other. Here is the new Pro 2, and here is the little one. And as always, kindly provided by carolinadrones.com, which is pretty much where I get all of my drone stuff from. Frank offers amazing one-on-one customer service, so if you're looking to get hold of one of these, pick up the phone, give Frank a call, and make sure he sets you up and takes good care of you. Well, so this is what we learned here is, it feels heavier than this one. I haven't flown it yet. I'm sure it's gonna be better. There's been a slew of new drones this year, and on the super lightweight, just about 300 grams, is the little one from Parrot right here. You can see how skinny that is. That is a little plastic camera. And then also we have the heavy Autel, and I have a feeling that's going to be about the same weight. Now, until about a week ago, this camera on the Autel was without a doubt the best camera in this size category. However, I'm pretty sure that now we are getting probably a better camera from Hasselblad right here. We won't know until later this week when I have a chance to test these two against each other. That said, at $1,000 versus $1,500, it is actually still an understandable value. One thing that's worth mentioning is between these two price points, there's also the Mavic 2 zoom. The zoom has a 2x optical zoom, but in the marketing materials it says it does 4x lossless. So that suggests they have a 6 megapixel sensor and do 2x optical plus another 2x digital. I'm not quite sure how they're doing that. That's something we want to take a look at in the future too. I'm almost forgetting the most important feature right here, namely that inside this camera here is an actual f-stop. That means you can change the aperture of the camera here from the controller, letting you shoot from 2.8 and down to f11. Guys, that's amazing because we used to apply ND filters. Like you can see, I have an ND filter on my old Mavic. We used to have to apply ND filters to the front of these cameras in order to slow down the shutter speed and not burn out on bright days. So now using the f-stop, we can actually pick what we typically consider the proper shutter speed for video production, namely 2x the frame rate, literally from the controller. Huge progress. Again, DJI has really managed to get a whole ton of features in here. I'm sure that our friends at Polar Pro will be having filters for this camera momentarily, and I'm really looking forward to see a polarizer, and I also want to see a graduated ND, because now that I can control my f-stop, I don't really need ND filters unless I want to do time lapse of waves or something, or do time exposures of waves, and I'm still gonna need an ND filter. Do call Frank at carolinadrones.com and ask him about availability of filters, since he should know all of that, and frankly, I don't yet. Just got this in my hand. It feels really good. It's metal down here, and gotta tell you guys, this is a very sexy little bird. Alrighty, there you have it. I'm ready to charge this and go fly. So stay tuned for some more video, and make sure you click on subscribe, and also copy paste the link to your Facebook and share this video with some other people. Much appreciated, guys. Like, share, thank you. Oh, and subscribe. Bye bye. See you guys when I get some more video ready.